Good morning and welcome to another week. This is vlog 31. Today's Monday the 24th of March. My name's Steve and welcome to superBRICKS, the home of BrickMetrics and East Midlands Lego Hire, as well as our superBRICKS Bricklink and Brickhouse store. We're an online Lego reseller. So let's start the week as we normally do with a bit of an update on the figures. So in the store we've still got 400,000 parts. We're at 401,683. Now that's a drop of nearly 1,500 parts on last week. Now that's simply because we didn't upload anything. Now in last week's vlog I touched upon that Technic job lot that we bought from Facebook, and I haven't actually uploaded the Brickstore file. There's a very good reason for that. I've started to look at a little bit of an update to BrickMetrics, where once you've created a Brickstore file, the intention will be that you will upload it as per normal to Bricklink using the method that we already used, just a simple paste of the XML into Bricklink and upload it. But that same XML can then be copied into BrickMetrics and then will allow you to do your pricing changes through BrickMetrics. And that's what I was sort of working on a little bit behind the scenes last week. It's not ready yet. I am wondering whether that's the best method. But I need to finish the code and I need to test it and I need to run through it a couple of times. And that's why I've not uploaded that Technic set, because I need Brickstore files that I can actually work with to sort of test the theory and test the process. And that's the only upload, or that's the only Brickstore file I managed to get created last week and finished off. So yeah, the store's taking a bit of a hit. But only in terms of growth. It feels like we've been stuck at just over 400,000 parts now for a good few weeks. And this week, well, someone might have a birthday, so that's going to impact things. And we've got a do this weekend with the running club. We've got family visiting. It's a busy old week, and then the following week I'm going to take some time out and have a bit of a rest. So we'll see how we get on. Let's get back onto it. The lot count 13,870, so that's down by about 75 lots on last week, and feedback still the same at 99.9%. Orders 9,320, so that's only up by 18 orders. So it was a bit of a quiet week last week on Bricklink. Feedback 5,171, that's an increase of 18. So yeah, not a bad ratio between orders and feedback. YouTube, we start the week on 717 subscribers, which is up 19 on last week, which is fantastic. We broke through the 700 subscribers mark, so I'm really happy about that. And just to remind everybody that I set a bit of a challenge in last week's vlog with Noah from the Brick Shed over in Australia. His subscriber count's a little bit higher than mine. It's about 770 last time I checked. It's probably a bit higher now, but I've challenged him to a race to 1,000. So, normal call, guys. If you are watching and you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. And let's see if we can beat the Aussies down under. Right, let's have a quick look at the orders then that came in over the weekend. Sort of Saturday afternoon, all of Sunday and last night. Right, quite a few orders, but all really small. The overall order value is just over the £60 mark, which isn't great. It's quite a way off the target needed. Sort of on a Monday I need to do a sort of 2-day target, so I need to be hitting about £100 for the weekend's orders. So that's quite a way off, but I think that's an obvious symptom of not uploading, to be quite honest. We had 3 orders on BRICKS, you know, just sort of small value, you know, 13 pounds, 11 lots. And then over on Bricklink, slightly better. There you go, the £55. But like I say, really small. Let me see if I can move my card again. There we go. Yeah, 23 lots. What's that? 100 parts? Yeah, 100 parts. Oh well. Oh, always serves to motivate you. Most interesting order, I've got a couple of TIE fighter pilots in there. We've got a used one and there's a brand new one in the bag behind. We've got 50 masonry bricks going out here. For the first time I've sold some of the botanical parts, so that's all good. Single minifigure in that order. Some tiles, and that's about it. And we've got an order here going out to the US. And it's interesting, I joined the Australian and New Zealand Bricklink and BRICKS online meeting. It's open now to the worldwide community of Bricklink and BRICKS sellers. And one of the topics was international orders, and I was asked how it was from the UK for international orders, and I said it was very, very quiet, and lo and behold, we go and get an order here from America. So yeah, ironic. So we're going to get those packed up, do the school run, and then I'll try and work out what on earth I'm going to be doing this week, what should be the focus. We do have an order there that I need to create a brick store file for, but I need to video that, I think, because there's a bit of a story behind that order. That's why it's been sat there for a while, to be honest. Right, let's get cracking, and let's hope that this week is slightly better than last. Good morning, it's Tuesday, and a special day today, simply because it's my birthday. Bit of a late start this morning. My wife took me out to the carvery for a nice breakfast, so I've already done the school run and I'm back in the office now for a sort of semi-normal day of work, which means I've not yet done the orders. I'll show you those in a minute. Just an update on YouTube. So Noah from the Brick Shed has accepted the challenge. So remember, it's the race to 1,000 subscribers. Now, when I first thought about this idea last week, I thought the Brick Shed YouTube channel was on about 770 subscribers, but when I looked again last night, they were over 800, so we're a little bit behind already, but the race is on to try and get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you are watching and you haven't yet subscribed, please do. You know, there's over, what we're on now, 30, there's over 30 vlogs. I'll discuss anything Lego related, so if you've got a suggestion, drop it in the comments. Yeah, if you could subscribe, that would be great, and let's see if we can beat the Brick Shed to 1,000. Now the office is looking a little bit of a mess. I had an order came in yesterday for collection from a regular customer, and I was a minifigure short. I don't know how it's happened, but I couldn't find it in the drawer it was supposed to be in, and that led me on a bit of a hunt. I had to go through all of my spares. Luckily I found a torso and some legs. I already had the head, but I just needed to find the headgear, which I managed to do by removing it off another minifigure. So I haven't yet put the office back to the way it should, but I've had all my spares out trying to hunt it out. Yeah, it's all not yet back. I need to sort that out. So today it's the start of the Amazon spring sale. I noticed there were a few sets on there with some reduced prices, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look on BRICKmetrics, put the set number in, make sure the prices are up to date, and then work out whether the sets are worth buying or not, based on the part out value, based on the sell-through rates, based on how many lots would they add to the store, based on the minifigure value, based on how quickly I can get my money back on average, and maybe I will purchase a few. Don't know at the moment, but we'll see. So I might do that this morning, because it's kind of relaxing, just sort of sitting at the computer and, you know, looking at some figures. But we'll see. Right, the orders. So it was a good day yesterday, actually. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 orders. All of them on BrickLink. We didn't get a single Brick Owl order at all. The order value was good. We just hit just over £60. Although one of those orders did come in first thing this, well, literally 20 minutes ago. But it'll count for today's sales anyway. So 39 lots, just 91 parts. So what have we got? Just a selection of normal parts. We've got a minifigure in here. There was a Harry Potter one in there. And then this was the order that just came in this morning. Lots of used and new yellow parts. So maybe some sort of city construction set, I don't know. And then we've got a sticker sheet here. Now, based on what we discussed last week with packing, the way I'll pack this, because the customer's only ordered the sticker sheet, there's nothing else. But the sticker sheet will go in a bag, first of all, just to make sure it doesn't get damaged by any kind of water or anything, in case, you know, the box gets wet during the post. That will then get sandwiched between 2 bits of card, which is an old Lego box, just to keep it flat. And then that itself I will pack in one of the letter boxes. Not that size, that's the larger one, but the smaller letter one. It should fit in there with a little bit of bubble wrap, and it should then arrive in perfect condition as it is right now. Yep, it's a bit of effort, but the last thing I want is that to arrive and it get creased somehow. I think that would be just really annoying. So it's just to make sure that arrives in perfect condition. So I'll get those packed up now and off to the post office, and then, like I said, I might go and have a look at Amazon and see what's happening. I've got a customer coming this afternoon to pick up the Harry Potter castle from East Midlands Lego Hire, so I've also got that to prep. And then I think the rest of the day I might have a bit of a lazy day. We'll see. We'll just see how it goes. I've still got to do the school run this afternoon, and then maybe have a meal with the kids tonight. A nice meal. Maybe a takeaway. We'll see. We'll see. Right, let's get cracking. So I've just downloaded the price guide from the Royal Mail website, and as you can see, the valid from date is the 7th of April. So we've got until the 7th of April to get all of this done and updated and ready. Now, every year I take those prices and I update my own spreadsheet. I've been doing this now for quite a number of years, and I find it's probably the easiest method. So I just fill in the details for each sort of price point. So we've got letters, large letters, small parcels, and I go all the way down, I think, to medium parcel. The weight ranges have remained pretty consistent, so I don't need to mess around with those too much. But I just pop in the prices from the guide for each of the various services against all the weights, and so on. Nice and easy. Now, the change that I've made this year, like I was saying, I wanted to add a bit more bit more variety, I suppose, to the delivery options is I've added in all of the zones. Because like I said, I used to have just sort of a standard price for Europe and a standard price for the rest of the world, and I don't think it works that well. There are times when I feel like I'm really overcharging for the shipping, which just causes, you know, more work, and there are times when I'm undercharging for the shipping. So I've added these extra columns in for all the zones, and we've got international standard, Europe, then we've got the world, and we've got both the tracked and signed version, and then just the standard version. I've decided to stay with tracked and signed because it's kind of hard to determine which countries are tracked only, which countries are signed only, and which countries do both. And I thought if I just stay with tracked and signed for now, it makes it a little bit easier, and as it's that little bit more expensive, there's a little bit of play in case they don't do it. So again, all of these prices are just populated from the guide, and the next step after that is to work out the sort of margin on top of that. Now the reason I say that is I know that there's, I mean, lots of sellers, lots of Bricklink sellers do this in different ways, and I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'll just explain how I do it. I add an extra fee on top of the postal price, and that covers the PayPal fee, it covers the Stripe fee, the packing material, the bubble wrap, the envelopes, the cardboard boxes, you name it. A little bit goes towards my time for picking and packing, and that fee I just adjust slightly to give a nice rounded overall postage charge. For example, I don't want to charge someone £4.31 for postage. I'd much rather charge them just £4.30. So I do round it up a little bit. I know some sellers will say they just charge the postage at cost, but then they always add on an extra fee in the settings to say this is their, you know, their charges, and it might be a straightforward £1 or 50p or whatever it might be. I personally choose not to do that, simply because I think when I'm buying and I can see that the postal charge is that fee, you know, it's that fee. All of a sudden when you go into checkout, you then find that actually no, they've charged you £1 because you didn't read the terms and conditions properly at the very beginning, which no one ever does, to say they're going to charge you a £1 handling fee, a £2 packing fee, or whatever it might be. So I just prefer just to have it all in one cost. I'm not aware of any sellers just charging postage at cost and nothing else. Maybe they have a minimum order on their store. I for one have no minimum order, so you can buy a 1p part from us and pay the price as it's quoted, with no other extras. And I know from working out the fees involved in selling that, there's at least a bit left over, you know, that goes against our profit. So the next stage now is to sort of take these prices now and work out what my prices are going to be for Bricklink, and then I can get into Bricklink. So I'm going to go and work on that now. Right, so that's done, and using the power of Excel, it's really simple then to add your price to the Royal Mail price and give you your postal price. So that's all now done on the right hand side, and I'm ready now to start creating the Bricklink sort of shipping, what's the right way of describing them? Each shipping method, I suppose. And what I'll do is, because I don't want to change my existing shipping methods because they're currently live obviously, is I will create a brand new shipping method using the old one as the template. There's a facility where you can just copy from your existing template, and then all I need to do is update the prices. Now it's going to be slightly trickier for the new versions of the zoning. Obviously in large letter, we've got international standard world zones 1 to 3. Europe just stays as the same zone, but small parcel, there's definitely a difference. We've got 3 zones in each of the different areas, but then you've also got the tracked to do as well, and that will mean for me creating new shipping methods to cover those extra zones. And I'm going to take a break now for lunch, but that's going to be the next task, to get all of those created. And I think that's where most of the work's going to be, simply because we don't have them already. But once it's done, and it just means that next year should be even easier when the prices change. That obviously depends on, you know, whether we get any extra orders. So did I mention it? I can't remember. The driving force behind me doing it this way and adding these extra zones in is I'm trying to make my international offering a little bit more attractive. So hopefully by reducing the shipping price, hopefully might attract a few more buyers. But we'll see. So like I said, that was the easy bit done, because that's just spreadsheets. I'll now need to crack on with Bricklink. Okay, so I think I've done it now. I've managed to create all the new shipping methods. You'll see that Bricklink have added this number 2 to the end of it. That's just simply because we're using exactly the same name as another one. That's probably not a good example here. You can see it's named the same as the existing one. So all I'll do is, on the day of the swap over, is I will enable the new one, disable the old one, and then I'll rename it to get rid of that number 2, because I think I can delete it, or I'll have to rename the old one as well, but we'll see. Now, one decision I have made is I'm going to drop first class. Just looking at the price increase for large letter, when I add on my fee, I think it became more expensive than the tracked 48 service. And to be quite honest, with first class, obviously it used to be next day, but it very rarely is nowadays. I don't really see the point. So I'm going to drop the first class large letter. Have I kept it for small parcel? No, I'm not doing small parcel at all. What am I talking about? I'm just doing the tracked small parcel, the 24 and the 48. So that's probably a change I need to make to my spreadsheet to remove those prices. Yeah. And then with the airmail stuff, so here's my existing airmail large letter, and now we've got the no tracking version and a version with tracking. Now I used to have it set up where within the large letter you could add a fee for insurance. So you could say, you know, here's a standard price, and if you pay an extra fee you can have insurance. But I think that was one of the reasons why the pricing was going out, because it was never really a sort of set fee, more expensive. So I've broken them out into 2 different versions. Also, I was finding that customers were purchasing the sort of cheapest, the cheapest service, effectively, and then following it up with a message to me to ask for the tracking number, but they hadn't chosen the track service with the insurance. So I've done it with two different methods this time, with a message that says no tracking insurance is included, to give the customers that choice. Obviously there's a limit on the pricing. If they go above the pricing, then this will be the only alternative. They'll have to purchase it with the tracking. So all the insurance levels should all be sorted and everything like that. And I think that's about it. I sorted out all the countries into different zones. So I've got my zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. I've done that as best I can, because the country list on Bricklink doesn't match the country list on Royal Mail perfectly. So not by a huge amount, no big deal really. Just a few of the countries just had to make an educated guess as to which zone they fall into. But I think those are countries that, to be quite honest, I've probably never ever shipped to in my life. So I'm not too worried. And I think that's about it. Did take a bit of time to get all of this set up. And obviously within each one I've got my own settings for the base weight of the parcel, the size of the parcels. I always go a little bit below the large letter limit, simply because, again, when I first did this, I had lots of orders that were simply too big for a large letter. I just didn't have it quite set right. But you know, nowadays that tends to happen very rarely, in the scheme of things, to be quite honest. So I'm quite happy with everything there. So that is all good for the 7th of April, hopefully. But obviously if there's any issues with it, it's dead easy to come back into here and tweak the settings and change things. So it's a task that does need doing. If you're running a Bricklink store and you haven't yet done this, it is worth doing in terms of getting yourself prepared just for whatever changes you want to make to your delivery. You know, the prices are going up, although the second class large letter price point is staying the same at the 0 to 100 grams. It's just there. It's still £1.55. I did notice that some of the prices in the upper bands were cheaper, so they've been reduced. So and I think hopefully, like I said, with the zoning, hopefully I've made it a little bit more competitive. But you know, I think it's definitely a job worth doing. So there we go. That's all done. I'm just wondering what I'm going to do now for I've only got an hour or so before the school pickup, so it's just whatever I need to get involved with. I've just seen on the news though that Liam Lawson's been dropped from Red Bull, so I might just go and have a read upon that and see what's happened there. Obviously it's not had a great start to the season, but it's still very early, I think, to make decisions like that. But hey, that's the Red Bull team for you. Right, I'll crack on. Good morning, it's Friday, and just the 3 orders this morning on Bricklink, and we've got 1 on Brickowl. On Bricklink we've just got, what's that, just 5 lots, which are these 3 orders here. We've got a minifigure going out in this one and a torso, and then just a job lot of those bricks. This is the Brickowl order. It's just come in, 30 lots in there, lots of greens, limes, leaf parts, lots of brown. So maybe something to do with the Hobbit. There's a new set coming out, maybe something along those lines, who knows. Now you're probably wondering, it's Friday and did I do any filming yesterday? And the answer is I did, but I had a problem with the recording, and unfortunately I can't use it. So we've jumped ahead a day, but yesterday was just standard stuff. Did the orders in the morning, and like I said at the beginning of the vlog, I've got some family visiting over from Australia, so yesterday was all about that, to be quite honest. I did manage to get a little bit of time to make a start on one of these containers right here. However, as I started, I noticed there's something wrong with my Brick Arena file. Nothing to do with Brick Arena, all my own doing. And what I found was there were parts in there that I've already added to my store, which I thought was odd, because the way I'm working with the Brick Arena file is that as I consolidate the items into my own store, I'm deleting them from that file, and then I always know how much is left to go. And what I've discovered is that when my PC updated and restarted, when Brick Store reopened, it said, there was a message saying, you know, we've restarted or whatever, would you like to use an older file? And I've hit yes. And I think what's happened is it's gone back, and it looks like it's gone back quite a number of weeks, and I've started from that point. So I've discovered that all of the files I did in January, or the end of January and into the beginning of February, are all still in that Brick Arena file. So I had to start working my way through them all, and it did take me a couple of hours yesterday morning, and I've still not finished. Just comparing them with the file I uploaded and then going back to the main file and deleting them from there. So I've still got a bit more to do, but I do need to get that Brick Arena file accurate. So my own fault. I shouldn't have gone back that far. I should have double checked it. And yeah, I mean, I do save it, so I just don't know what's happened with that. But anyway, I cracked on with that. And then I also did a bit of coding on BRICKS, sort of late yesterday afternoon. I got an hour sort of spare, and I did a bit more work on that, mainly to do with how your inventory is imported. So that's an ongoing thing. So today, after I've done the orders, I've got a couple of household tasks to do, and then I've got a little secret project that I'm working on that I've got to do some work as well. Now my secret project won't be announced for another few months, I reckon, at least. So a bit of work on that this morning, and then I'll go back to BRICKS because we've discovered a bit of an issue this morning that I need to fix. So thanks, Jason. In fact, Jason, I owe you a lot of credit. You know, I really appreciate all your feedback, all your help. You're really active on the Discord, and you're helping out other Bricklink sellers. So I really do appreciate everything you've done. So thanks, Jason. Really appreciate it. Okay, let's get cracking. Good morning, and it's a beautiful day today. It's Saturday, and I think this will be the last part of the vlog. Just a quick look at the orders that came in yesterday afternoon and last night. 6 orders in total, 5 of them on Bricklink and just 1 on Brickowl. But Bricklink, we had 2 quite large ones there, a 36 lotter and a 45 lotter, so 90 lots in total, £46. And the Brickowl order was about a £5, so we just about reached the target, which is great. Just a lot of standard bricks, to be quite honest, in these orders, but all the same, always appreciate the orders and always very welcome. So yesterday I managed to spend a little bit of time putting away deliveries that I'd had from purchases from other stores. You can just see the empty boxes just there. Now these are purchases that I've made using the BRICKS premium feature of the top 250, coupled with the ability to create your wanted lists, and then I've been able to make some purchases from other stores. So we'll see how that goes. I can't really talk about what I've purchased exactly, because obviously BRICKS is a premium product. There's a monthly subscription for it, so I'm not going to just give away the parts that are shown on those lists for obvious reasons. But that was yesterday, and I think after I've packed these orders, I'm going to take the rest of the weekend off pretty much. Got some family visiting. It's Mother's Day tomorrow, but we do have the monthly Bricklink and Brickowl UK Facebook group meeting tomorrow evening, so that's always a good thing to get involved with, chat with like-minded Bricklink sellers. So if you are a store owner, please do come and join us. There's information on the Facebook group, but it's always, you know, it's always a good turnout, and it's always good to chat. So if you've made it this far in this video, thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe. We are in a race to 1,000. We've challenged Noah from the Brick Shed over in Australia to see who can be the first channel to reach 1,000 subscribers, and he is ahead of us at the moment. In fact, quite far ahead of us. So we've got a bit of a challenge, bit of a race to get there. So if you haven't, please do subscribe. Right, thanks very much everybody. I'll see you all in next week's vlog.